Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we are by my sorting machine. And that is because I just harvested one of my bags, my urban worm bag, and the center sort of fell out a little bit into the container, and I want to separate some of the material that's not quite composted from the real stuff that's ready to go in my garden. So that's another way that I can use this machine other than just sorting out worms, is also to make sure I'm leaving those materials I don't want in my garden, such as unprocessed food or bedding material that's not ready to go, or just other things like that from going into my pots in my garden. So before we continue, first off, I want to ask everyone to please click that subscribe button down below and give me a thumbs up, and let's go and take a look at how the sorting machine does with this material and what comes out the other side. Okay, so here's the material that I have here. Some of it looks really good, but then some of it, as you can see here, a little bit chunky. Got some shells in here, some dried up bits. We still have some paper. So it's just a variety of materials. This isn't great to put it outside in my garden. I got some chunks in here of stuff that maybe needs to be broken down a little bit more. So we're gonna put this through the machine. This is the material we're putting through. So there's some hard chunks in here that maybe I just want to throw out in my backyard instead of putting in my garden or good areas. I have other areas of my yard that I could put these in rather than in good areas of my garden or where I have plants and things like that. So this is what we're going to run through. We're going to see what comes out on the bottom section, which is just right here, and then also out on the end. So let's go and start it up, and let's send this through the sorting machine. All right, we got it going. Let's use our shovel. We're going to add some stuff on here. Now I'm putting big shovelfuls on. You can actually see some worms on there too, if you can see. I'm just going to let this fall through, and I really want the big stuff to kind of roll to the end. Any worms to kind of come out. So I don't really want this big ball right here. This would be nice to kind of break apart a little bit. This is just the first sorting of it, by the way, too. There's a half avocado seed. A lot of material came out of the bottom of my bag. I'm starting to see a lot more worms on here now too. Alright, we're getting towards the end here, so I'm going to dump. Nice and slow, give it a chance to settle down. Hold on. All right. That's our first sorting right here. Let's take a look and see how it did. All right, so here we go. We've got our tray of stuff that went through the sorter. This is the stuff that came out the other end. As you can tell from all the worms in here. It looks very chunky. Some of it's probably not real loose. Some of it kind of broke up as it was going down, but maybe didn't go through quite all the way. But you can see in here, we've got, this is a peanut shell. We've got some, pieces of cardboard or paper. There's some bigger chunks in here. Like this is a big chunk right here. Break this apart a little bit. See if that maybe can go through a little bit better this time. We've got, it looks like a piece of plastic here. I think I'm going to just take that out to the side right there. Lots of worms in here. That's actually a piece of paper. But you can see this is not the best material. I've got half an avocado seed in here. So this material is not great. And it needs to go through again just to make sure we got most of it. But there's a lot of stuff in here that just really shouldn't be in your garden. I'd rather use this maybe and bury it in the soil, or maybe put it through the bin one more time, see if it kind of breaks down a little bit more so it's a little bit more loose. But that's why I'm sorting this. This is one of the reasons why I built this. It wasn't just to get these worms out. They can still find in here. I mean, there's a worm right there. But, I want to make sure that I'm getting out these chunks that are not really breaking down. Or if they are, they can go through the one more time through my bin and make sure they're really fully broken down. So that's one of the reasons why I'm now sorting all this stuff. Is I really want to make sure I have good, consistent material to use around my plants and in my pots. So let's take a look at what came out the sorted side. All right, look at this material here. This is what was sorted out. Oh, here's a worm right here. I'm going to take him out though. So there we go. I took the worm out. But look at this. Look how nice this material is. This is something, if you added it, it could mix in with soil really well. There's a couple bugs in here, not a big deal, but this is really nice loose material. This would just be great in a garden. It'd be great in your yard. It'd be great to throw into something. I mean, it's very loose and airy. It doesn't really, you clump it up, just breaks right apart. That's really what you want to use and what you should have for your castings. And this is just beautiful material here, but you really don't get it unless you do your sorting. So that's why we sorted this once. We're actually, here's another worm here. I just put it to the side. We're going to sort this again from, well, not this material. This material is sorted now. We're going to sort the other section again, and then we're going to see if we get a little bit more out of there and how that looks as well. So let's go back to the sorting machine and run this one more time at slightly higher speed, and we'll see how it goes. I'm sure you could see the machine moving a little bit that time. I was putting some weight on it and I didn't realize I was pushing it in the process. You can see a whole bunch of worms here on top. So it really did a good job of sorting, especially at this higher speed. It's a little hard to keep it that way, but good amount of worms on here. So lots of, this material seems very, very ready to go through the bin again. It's kind of dried out, lots of still the shells and everything. This really doesn't look like great material for a bucket or your garden. So this is really ready to go back through my urban worm bag, which I pulled it from. This is the version 1. I still have that one going as well as my version 2. And this needs to go through again. It needs to go through, it needs to get loosened up a little bit more. The worms need to go back in. I mean, here's a big piece of cardboard we missed the first time, when looking through it. I mean, that's a big piece. That needs to go through and get broken down some more. So this looks really good. Got a lot of stuff out of it. I was hoping a little bit more would get filtered through, But so far, this looks really good, and it's ready to go back in the urban worm bag, go through a second time. The worms, I'm sure, will be really happy to go in, and they'll be ready to go. Now let's take a look at the sorted material the second time. All right, here's the sorted material. I can see a worm right here that made it through. I'm going to put him back in the other bin. But look at this, nice material here. There's a couple more worms. Let me just throw these guys back in real quick. Might as well keep the worms that I can see. And just a couple more right here. Okay, so not perfect at sorting, but really good. There's actually some more worms in here, but that's okay. You can't get every single one. I've said that before. A lot of people try. I have tried. You just can't do it. You're always going to miss some. So now we sorted out a little bit more worms this time, but really good material still, nice bit density and everything. A couple pieces of cardboard in here, we can add those back over to the other bin. I could really, if I wanted to, sort this one more time just to see what came out, but I think this is fine to go into the next system to get ready to go into my yard and into my flower pots. So it looks really good, nice texture, loose and airy. You can still squeeze it, it holds its shape, but you shake it around a little bit, loosens right back up. I am finding quite a few worms in here. I'm just going to add those over to the other bin. But, as I said, you can't capture every single one. I'll get what I can, and we'll keep moving on. So that's how this works. I've been playing around with the sorting machine. As you saw the first time, it was a little bit slower. Second time was a little bit faster, but it started to move. And I'll have to figure out how to fix it. I think it just needs more weight to hold it down. I think that there's just not enough weight holding it down. And we'll have to play around with it a little bit more. But so far, it's working pretty well. And I do like this consistency of this material that comes out the other side. This would be good enough to I could almost sell it probably. Maybe you have to run it through a slightly finer screen or something just to make sure I get the worms out. But I could almost sell this material. It's perfect, really. So, hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching.